Hey guys, what's going on? So today I have an album review for PYAEMIA, Cerebral Serial. If you don't know PYAEMIA, of course, classic brutal death metal from North Holland, I want to say. I know they're from the Netherlands. Really great shit if you like blaster basing type stuff, like, you know, Disgorge, Disavow, which these guys share some members with. Even, like, there's a lot of heavy Suffocation influence on this, of course, so if you're into that, you'll like this. If you like Suffocation, not necessarily worship, but it's pretty close. But anyways, I just thought I'd get out of the way first. I'm sorry I haven't really been doing a lot of reviews or just been me talking lately. I've been busy with school lately. I'm finishing up my first semester of college. I only have like a week and a half left anyways, so next 2 months, since I'll be on winter break, you guys could be expecting some more videos. But anyways, this came out in, I want to say, 2001. It's put out through Unique Leader, of course, like probably the biggest brutal death metal label run by Deeds of Flesh. And I think this exemplifies a lot of the traits of a lot of the early Unique Leader bands really well. You know, it's really technical and blasty. Kind of clean-ish production. It's not clean by today's standards at all. It's pretty raw, but you know, it's not like retarded fucking like raw production. You can make sense of it. It's maybe not as raw as something like Disgorge's Sheila Gutted or Deeds of Flesh Trading Pieces. I'd say the production on this is maybe about as good as Disavow, maybe a little bit more dirtier than that. But anyways, really awesome album cover done by John Zig. Love this piece. And there's the back with the track listing. These guys have more gore kind of lyrics on here, as you couldn't tell by the album title, Cerebral Serial, which literally means eating brains. Goofy album title, but you got Gorging on Mucus and Bile, Cerebral Serial, probably the funniest song title on here, Sugar Spiced Anus, Impaled on Stakes, Carried in Proboscis, I think that's how you pronounce that, Blood Spewed on My Face, Malodorous Rancidity, Cranial Blowout, and Everlasting Torture. Maybe not the best song titles in brutal death metal for gore lyrics, but you know, they're cool. They have some charm to them. Not the nastiest per se, besides like Sugar Spiced Anus. There's There's no lyrics in the booklet, and I couldn't find any on Metal Archives. Maybe if I looked harder, I could probably find them, but you could probably make out what the lyrics are gonna be like by the song titles. But anyways, you just show the inside. Cool disc, just simple kind of orangey red logo. Close up of the brains from the album cover inside. Cool band picture. These guys have all got some fucking sick shirts. You got fucking Severe Torture, another Netherlands BDM band from the same like late 90s, early 2000s. This guy's got a Quake shirt, so that's sick. Deeds of Flesh, Suffocation. So you can tell what kind of bands. If you like Deeds of Flesh, Suffocation type stuff, then you'll probably like this. Although it's a little more cookie cutter, it's not the most generic thing you'll ever hear. It's done very well, and these guys are very talented. I think my two favorite parts of this album are the bass, or my three favorite parts of the album really are the bass, the guitar tone, and the drums. I also really like pretty much everything on here. I like. I don't like this band as much as I do Disavowed, but it's pretty damn close. I'm not quite as familiar with this album as I am with Disavowed because I don't spend as much time listening to this one. But I've been listening to this a little more lately, obviously, for this review. And I don't know, this album's a fucking banger. Gorging on Mucus and Bile, the first track on here, is just amazing. Really fucking blasty. Shows what this album's all about. If you're gonna hear one PYAEMIA song, that might as well be it. You know, has some really like chuggy kind of riffs in there. A lot of blast beats. Just it sounds really fucking brutal. Very menacing sounding is one of the best ways. I could probably use that to describe all this album really. It's a very menacing sounding, very like over the top sort of brutal death metal album. Maybe not as ridiculous as like Devourment or something like that, but it's more over the top in the sense of like it's very in your face, very aggressive and like gruff sounding. The title track, Cerebral Serial, might be my favorite on here. Just super fucking groovy. If you like, I mean, it's very blasty, but it has a lot of groove in the riffs. Just amazing. There's some really sick vocal patterns. There's a lot of highs lined up with the lows. So if you like you know, like Deeds of Flesh, that type of stuff, those type of highs like you'd hear in like Deeds of Flesh, maybe Lividity, but they're a little bit better highs than in Lividity. They're a little less grandma-y sounding. But yeah, the title track is amazing though, and there's a music video for it too, which is cool. Sugar Spiced Anus has some of the best fucking trem riffs on this album. Probably one of the best songs on here. Just super fast. A lot of the tremolo pick riffs on here, and same thing goes for Disavowed, are amazing because they have a slightly melodic sense to them. They're not like pretty sounding or anything, but they're not just like chromatic stuff. You can make they stick in your head. They're well thought out riffs, and I think that they're really good. It sounds so stupid. I think they're really good, but you get what I'm saying. They're really well put together riffs. They're memorable and they're made to be memorable. It's not just filler bullshit like a lot of trem riffs are. Impaled on Stakes, the intro of that song kind of reminds me of something Cryptopsy would do. There's a really sick like bass lick, probably the best bass moment on this album. Really fucking like technical sounding. It kind of reminds me of something from Blasphemy Made Flesh for some reason. I can't put my finger on which song it is. Yeah, Impaled on Stakes is definitely a high one here. I think the first 5 songs are the best. Carried in Proboscis, that has an amazing fucking riff. That's like this really twisty, turny, sort of like maze-like riff, but it's really fucking catchy. And the second you hear it, it'll stick in your head. That's arguably my favorite riff on this album. It's so fucking like catchy, really earwormy kind of riff. It's great. Blood Spewed on My Face is really good. Like the last like 4 tracks on here aren't my favorite, but they're still really good. They just don't have quite as many like memorable moments in them, but they're all amazing songs. There's a lot of bass breaks on this album. One of the things I like about the bass on this album is the bass tone. You can't really make it out when the guitars are going unless maybe you're a bass player and you just have a good ear for that. But there's a lot of bass breaks and moments where the bass shines on here. He's not as good at a bassist as like somebody like Jacob from Defeated Sanity or like Ben Marlin from Disgorge, but he is a very good bass player. Vocals are great. I don't like the vocals quite as much as I do Disavowed because they're a little bit less, they're a lot less catchy and they're more just straight lows. But there's a lot of good vocal patterns on here that are pretty catchy. And I also really like the highs on here. They sound just sick. I love that kind of stuff. Guitar tone on here, really meaty and chunky sounding. If you put this on your stereo and you turn up loud enough, you'll be able to feel it like in the floor. It's really bassy. Very well-rounded mix on this album, I gotta say. But yeah, I can't think of much else I could say about this album. It's pretty short. It's like around, I think it's like 29 minutes long. I don't think any of the songs go over like 3.5 minutes. They're usually like from 2 to 3 minutes long. You know, really blasty, grindy shit. What you can expect from this type of brutal death metal, which, I mean, this niche of brutal death metal is probably my favorite style of death metal, period. I mean, you know, like the Disgorgy type of stuff, like that's like my favorite shit. So if you're into that type of stuff, then you'll like this, but you should probably know this. It's not the biggest per se. They're not as big as like, you know, Deeds of Flesh, Disgorge, Old Decrepit Birth, but you know, it's up there. It's one of the classic Unique Leader albums, definitely. But I can't think of much else to say. I think I would give this a 9 out of 10. It's really great. Maybe not perfect. It's a little bit cookie cutter sometimes, but it's done very well. There's nothing about this band that's like super unique. There's nothing from this band that you won't get from like Disavowed maybe, or like Gorgasm or something like that. But if you're just looking for a very good brutal death metal album with a lot of blast beats, then you will like this. There's nothing about this that makes it worse than anything else. It's just not the most unique thing ever, but that's really not a complaint. It's just that's what keeps me from giving this a 10, because it's not my favorite album ever, but it's really damn good. So yeah, I'd give this a 9, maybe 9.5 out of 10. So yeah, PYAEMIA with Cerebral Serial. Even if you're not really into brutal death metal, you might enjoy this. It's not the most ridiculous thing ever, unless the song titles about sugar-spiced anuses turn you off. But yeah, great album. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.